What is up, guys? It's Swampy the Swamp King, and we're back with another video. And today we are going to be covering the Indigo League. Yes, the Indigo League. So let's get started, and some training as well. So let's get started. Of what if Ash's mom was a former breeder and trainer, sponsoring Ash, and yeah. So we see Brock's team and we see Ash's. So let's get started, and we're also gonna add one here to see Pokemon's, yeah. And let's go. Let's do this, guys. So to get this started, Ash has all these gym badges, and he leads the way. And they do tell him that the Indigo League starts in a few months, and that they would like Ash to lit the fire. And he does do that when Indigo League starts, but first we are going to do some training before the Indigo League starts. So let's go, because Ash always trains, and it's his first match. So what Ash decides to do here is switch some of his Pokemons. He switches Primate. Yeah, he switches Primate for Jigglypuff. Already planned this. And yeah, he switches Aerodactyl, his newly Pokemon, for Magikarp. He switches his Nidoqueen for Meowth. And he decides it's time to get training. So Ash decides to train Meowth against Charizard. Let's say Charizard, yeah. And yeah, so we start. Meowth goes with a Fury Swipe. Charizard goes with a Flamethrower. Both moves connect, and they are both powerful, but Charizard's a little bit powerful. Meowth is down, but isn't knocked out yet, so they keep battling. Meowth uses another Fury Swipe. Charizard decides to use a Slash attack, which both connect, damaging Meowth and damaging Charizard as well. Not a lot, but a little. And Meowth has traveled with us for a while, so he is a bit strong. So they keep battling it out. And eventually, in this episode, Meowth ends up evolving after a few attacks into Persian. Pokemon, not... And with that, Ash gets his newly evolved Persian. And the battle continues, because Meowth evolved from Strength with battling Charizard. And you're gonna see why I'm doing this right now. And yeah, so the battle continues. Both strong Pokemons battling it out. And yeah, in this, Persian gets knocked out eventually, but with that it gets rewarded for evolving. And now here we switch. So now we are gonna go with Magikarp and, let's say, Ivysaur. Now this is gonna be a struggle, but Ash has a plan for Magikarp. So they go and battle. Okay, so Ash tells, not Ivysaur, Venusaur. Ash tells his Venusaur to use a Worry Seed on Magikarp to, drain its power, but not drain it that much. Magikarp uses his Splash, and yeah. So what Ash decides to do is, Ash decides to let Magikarp, he decides to do some training. It can only use Splash But Venusaur does something to anger Magikarp, and with that it learns Tackle. And Magikarp keeps tackling Venusaur and tackling it, doing a little minimum damage. But with that raging power, like what happened in the SSN, Magikarp evolves into Gyarados. And yeah, let's start this. And no, yeah, I'm sorry my brother was here, so. But I cannot find a good Gyarados picture. I guess this one's gonna have to do. Which is okay. Because in reality, it's pretty big. So there we go. We have Gyarados, and with that, both of them battle it off. With Gyarados there and Venusaur there. And Venusaur uses a Razor Leaf since Gyarados is a powerful Pokemon now. But Gyarados uses Dragon Rage, a new move that it's learned. Venusaur gets badly damaged. This battle is colliding. Then Venusaur decides to use a Solar Beam. But Ash is smart and commands Gyarados, since there's no water around. But Ash knows what to do. Ash commands Gyarados to use its other new move, Dragon Dance. And then, while Venusaur is trying to power up its Solar Beam, it uses Dragon Dance. And then Gyarados uses, let's say, a Dragon Pulse. No, I mean a Dragon Rage to finish it off. And Venusaur is dead with that. And Ash's new Gyarados has proven itself. Now with Jigglypuff. Now this battle is going to be against Persian and Jigglypuff. After Persian's rested. Persian and Jigglypuff in the battle. Persian uses Fury Swipes, damages Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff uses Double Slap, it connects. Persian uses Scratch, it connects. Jigglypuff tries to use a Sing Attack, but it does not connect. Persian uses a Slash Attack. Jigglypuff is badly damaged. And Ash cries out, "Jigglypuff, you can do it!" And with that, his final Pokemon on the team evolves into Wigglytuff. And hold up, guys. And with that, the battle collides with Persian and Wigglytuff battling it off. With Wigglytuff using Dynamic Punch, a new move it's learned. And with Dynamic Punch, that actually surprises Ash and actually knocks Persian out. Cause Persian here, Dynamic Punch is like a fighting attack, and it's a normal type Persian. So, it knocks it out. With that, his Pokemon's here that he wants to train are good. And now, he decides to switch out Wigglytuff for his Haunter. And you know why? Because Brock suggests that we should trade Haunter together, and they go to the nearest Pokemon Center. Mm-hmm. So this is sorry, Pony. So they decide to go to a Pokemon Center, and they ask Nursery if they can use the trading thing. I'm pretty sure Haunter has to hold an item, so they get that prepared. And his Haunter gets traded to Brock, evolving into a Gengar. And then Ash and Brock trade back, and Ash officially gets his new Gengar. And with that, Ash is very excited because he receives the Pokeball with Gengar inside. And Brock, of course, he gets his Geodude back. Because Ash, let's say he traded Geodude. And yeah, here we see his final team with his trained Pokemons, and the Pokemon's in Professor Oak's lab. So, they decide to head to Professor Oak's lab to, you know, do further stuff. And yeah, they head to Professor Oak's lab. They make it to there because they were in Viridian, so they make it back to Palatown. And Professor Oak congratulates Ash for getting all 8 badges, and it'll be almost time for the Pokemon League. But Ash says, Professor Oak, I'm not done yet. I need to train my Rhyhorn and Krabby. Alright, then Professor Oak decides to take Ash to Bruno. And they go. Bruno, the Elite Four member, and yeah. So Ash wants Bruno to train Rhydon, and yeah. Bruno agrees. So they have a battle with Rhyhorn and Machamp, only battling to see if Ash is actually powerful. So the battle collides. Rhyhorn using Horn Attack, and Machamp using Close Combat. Then with Rhyhorn using Rock Climb, and then with Machamp using Punch, I guess, yeah. And then with Rhyhorn using another Horn Attack because it doesn't know much moves. And yeah, with Machamp using, let's say, Seismic Toss, yeah, because it can learn that. So with Machamp using Seismic Toss. And with that, the battle's on their way, but yeah, and with that, it doesn't evolve yet, but you know how it goes. Ash cries out to Rhyhorn, and it evolves into Rhydon. And with that, Bruno asks Ash if he can train Rhydon because he sees potential, but he says he promises that it'll come back before, you know, the Indigo League. And he also says he's gonna talk with a friend to get Rhydon special training, and Ash will get a surprise later on. And Ash decides to leave Rhydon with Bruno. With that, a few months have passed going back to Palatown, and it's finally time for the Pokemon League, with Ash training all his Pokemons the hardest he can. And yeah, With that, Ash heads to the route that leads him to the Indigo Plateau. And on the way to the Indigo Plateau, the events that occur are basically Ash taking the flame and lighting the fire on the temple or something, so the Indigo Plateau can start. And now everyone's in the Pokemon Center getting ready to start. And yeah, with that, we're gonna see what we do now. Okay, so yeah. Plateau. Alright, so let's go. Alright, so it's round 1 of the tournament. And yeah, so I guess who does Ash battle in round 1? Yeah. So let's get I think round 1 is so Ash battles this trainer that basically he switches Gengar out for his Krabby. And with that, they battle it out. And these trainers are something that Ash knows, and yeah. And with that, Krabby battles hard. And as you know, in this, Krabby is no longer a Krabby. It evolves into a Kingler. With Ash having one more strong water type. And as we know, I think Ash makes it like to the top 3, and yeah, let's go to the battle where Ash battles Gary before Richie, basically. So with that, he switches Kingler out. And he basically switches all his Pokemons out. Because against Gary, the battle's going to be different. So with that, Ash chooses Aerodactyl, Charizard, Wigglytuff, Venusaur, Tauros, and then the battle starts. And as you know, Ash does beat Gary because he loses against Richie, and yeah. And so he sends out Pikachu, Gary sends out Blastoise. In this timeline, Pikachu wins against Blastoise. So the reason it wins is with Pichu growing with Ash, it got a lot of friendship to really bond with Ash, and it really loved Ash, so it learned how to battle hard. And then, as you know, the other Pokemons. I don't really remember it. But the battle continues, and you know, Ash ends up winning the match. And then they go to Richie. And yeah, here we're actually going to do it different because Ash doesn't lose here. Ash actually beats Richie by using his Aerodactyl, Charizard, Venusaur, Tauros only. And yeah, he beats him with all 4 of them. And then this is where it gets interesting. The final trainer. And Charizard did take a nap on the battlefield, but it got taken out by another Pokemon, defeated Richie's Pokemon. Azonto. So with that, Azonto oh yeah. Alright, so with this is where it gets interesting. Ash gets a call and says his Rhydon is ready and he has a surprise for it, and we're gonna see what happens. So Bruno actually calls Ash and says he asked a friend from Sinnoh to do some stuff with Rhydon, and when it finally got sent back, it basically, you know what happened? It evolved into Rhyperior. Well, yeah, let's get this out of the way. And yeah, Ash decides on a new team to battle Azonto. And yeah, he gives Ash the Rhyperior. And Ash is very excited and also happy to have his Pokemon back. And Ash says thank you. And with that, Ash decides to, you know, put Aerodactyl back. And with that, he decides to get Gyarados, Kingler, Nidoqueen. Wait, no, actually, no. We are gonna let Gengar battle in this. Because I think our boy needs some time to shine. And with that, the battle against Azonto begins. And Azonto sends out, let's say, Tentacool. With this, Ash sends out Gengar. It really isn't that of a struggle, but Tentacool does use Poison Sting. It does hurt Gengar because it's poison, but Gengar is able to learn a Shadow Ball attack, knocking Tentacool out because his Gengar is a bit powerful. And then we go with Azonto's Venomoth. Now with this, Gengar ends up losing in this match. And yeah, but Venomoth using, let's say, Silver Wind, Gust, Poison Sting, and I don't know, maybe Wing Attack? I don't know if it knows that. But yeah, and Gengar gets knocked out. And now let's go with Ash sending out Rhyperior and Azonta using Rhydon. Yeah, here it starts. And right on Rhyperior, the battle collides basically, and yeah. Rhyperior uses a rock climb, a super prowler, or whatever that move is called. Rhydon uses a seismic toss on Rhyperior, and Rhyperior also uses a seismic toss. Then Rhyperior uses a close combat. Rhydon counters it with a close combat. And since Ash still needs a little bit of training on Rhyperior and it doesn't really listen to him, well, it does, but it needs training, so Rhyperior loses. But they did put up a good fight. So now, from this, Ash does lose the match to Zonta. But what I wanted to show here is his Rhydon comes back as the Rhyperior after a few months. And that's what I wanted to do here. Because I knew she had a Rhydon. Because I remembered that. So I thought it would be pretty cool. And with that, yeah. Why am I going back there? With that, Ash lost the Indigo League, but he is happy, even though he's sad too. And yeah, Richie said too. And Richie says he's going to go to Johto. So they'll see him there, maybe. And with that, Ash goes back to Pallet Town. And yeah, he asks Professor Oak about Johto. And yes, he does tell Ash about Johto. And Ash says he wants to go. But Gary is there. And uh-oh. You're just going to have to see what happens in the next episode. And this is the end of the Indigo League. I hope you enjoyed.